Hello, Parcells Middle School. This is the last of the podcasts on the era of good feelings. This is a podcast on the corrupt bargain, which is a nickname for the presidential election of 1824. This presidential election acquired its nickname, the corrupt bargain, from President Andrew Jackson. Jackson basically believed something foul happened in this presidential election. So I'm going to explain what it was that would preempt him to basically call this the corrupt bargain. To do so, we're going to look here at the results of the election of 1824, which are seen down here in the lower right. Now, the first thing is that I want everyone to notice the numbers down here, which reflect the numbers needed to win the presidential election. There's 261 possible electoral votes, which means to become the winner, one would need to get more than half, which is 131 in this case. Now, if we look across, a couple things stand out with this presidential election. Number one, every single candidate is from the same political party. They're all Democratic Republicans. Remember, this is the end of the era of good feelings, if you will. So there isn't much political competition from different parties because there aren't any parties that really can get organized. The Federalists are basically gone. We do not have a winner. We have Jackson with 99 electoral votes, John Quincy Adams 84, 41 with William Crawford of Georgia, and Henry Clay 37 of Kentucky. Now, when there's no winner, the U.S. Constitution basically stipulates that it will be the House of Representatives that will make the decision in such a case. So what happens here is they decide to choose from the top three, 1, 2, and 3. And what that means is Henry Clay is out. But then again, is he? And the reason I state this is Henry Clay, seen over here, Henry Clay is the Speaker of the House of Representatives, which means he's the elected leader of this group. So ultimately, he's going to play a huge role in who will win. As the story goes, seen here in his little bubble quote, he has a meeting and he speaks with the members of the House of Representatives, namely the Democratic Republicans who have a majority. And rather than choosing Andrew Jackson, he makes the statement about Andrew Jackson here. He basically says, I can't believe killing 2,500 Englishmen at New Orleans qualifies for the various difficult and complicated duties of the chief magistrate. Basically what he's saying is Andrew Jackson is not qualified to be president of the United States. So he basically encourages the entire group to elect John Quincy Adams. Now, John Quincy Adams, of course, Secretary of State, and really a politician for which everybody really was pretty confident he would do a very good job. Now, what happens here, though, is this. Once John Quincy Adams, once he becomes president of the United States, he is basically vacating the Secretary of State position, which he held. Now, at this time, Secretary of State was the sought-after position. It was the stepping stone to becoming president of the United States. Once John Quincy Adams becomes president, he immediately then appoints Henry Clay to be the next Secretary of State. And it's at this time that Andrew Jackson cries, foul play. This is a corrupt bargain. These two have struck some kind of a deal. The American people have been duped. And the evidence of this for Andrew Jackson, the claim of it is if you look down here, the first number that appears is the number of states that was won when the people voted. The second number, in parentheses, that's the number from the House of Representatives as seen over here when they chose the president. Obviously, this is a total turnaround from what transpired the first time. It was 12 states for Jackson, 7 for John Quincy Adams. When the House votes, it's 7-13 the other way. So there is some evidence here that maybe something might have been corrupt, but we don't know.